if someone says they're not buying Gotham Knights because quote unquote Batman isn't in it, do you judge them as a crappy gamer or a bandwagon comic book fan? All right, for you guys who don't know, this weekend was dominated by DC Fandom, which is like them. They were showing a bunch of comics, movie trailers, all this stuff. You know what I find funny? I think all of us here on Thread could agree. This shit was more hype than any of these fucking game presses they had this year. It killed every last one of them. It was better than the PlayStation thing, the Xbox thing, better than all of them. It kind of reminded me of this one year where San Diego Comic-Con was more hyped than E3. You know, so you know, we're not gonna get into the other stuff that isn't gaming related, but it was very cool. I'm like, yo, is DC or Warner Bros. I should say finally gonna get these DC movies right? Maybe. And real quick, I know it's not games. I'm just gonna keep it real. I think Marvel's kind of done. You know, like the Phase 4 shit looked kind of whack. So I'm like, okay, maybe DC will fill in the void. You know what I'm saying? If those movies don't turn out that good, you know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, as far as that Phase 4 stuff, it's a. I'm not sure anybody's going to give a shit about Eternals.
Yeah, who gives a fuck, you know? But yeah, so basically, there was a couple of game reveals, right? The biggest ones were from Warner Brothers, obviously, because it was a Warner Brothers thing. It was Gotham Knights, which is by the fuck, I'm forgetting. It's
Warner Brothers Montreal.
Thank you. Yeah. I was going to say Quebec, but I don't think that's right. You know.
No, it's Warner Brothers Montreal.
Fucking Canadians. So we got that. Shout out to Canada, but we love you guys. And Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Now, Suicide Squad we already knew about. I think it was leaked, or not. I know it wasn't leaked. It was official. They officially announced it a couple weeks ago. Gotham Knights, that's brand new. I think it was rumored, but now we got the official thing. And basically, you know, the main stars are. Tell me if I miss anybody. Batgirl, Tim Drake, Robin. You know, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, and Jason Todd, Red Hood, right? Those are the main guys. And people are like, oh, and the whole premise is that Batman's dead and the villains are going fucking crazy. So his proteges have to go in there and save the city. So, and people are saying they're not going to buy the game if Batman isn't in it. So, the question is, do you believe these people?
I mean, it's a weird sell because, you know, like, I mean, Batgirl has her own book. And Nightwing had his own book, but I don't know. It's a weird one. It's definitely quite cool to see them sort of get their own game, but it's like it's also let's just say it. It's the sidekick game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm personally not interested in the game, and it's not because isn't it Batman. Usually it's actually other reasons.
Well, now, you know, we got this platform. You could tell the people what you were telling us behind the scenes about.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not interested in. Notice that there's this trend now with these sort of multiplayer sort of hero games. You know, we see it with the Marvel's Avengers now, and now we're seeing it with this Batman. With the Gotham Knights game, and then also. I'm sure the Suicide Squad game is going to be about the same thing.
Yeah, they said it's going to be co-op. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I was just like, then we're looking at all that gameplay footage and it's looking choppy and stuff like that. I know it's pre-alpha and all that stuff, but I don't know. Didn't give the greatest impression. But as far as the question goes, do I think people are just kind of fair-weather fans because they don't want to buy a game because it's not Batman? I mean, to be honest, Batman is the seller, you know, and most people, you got to remember, most people are not really into comics. They're into the characters. They like Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, but they don't give a shit about the comics. So
I'm going to say this real quick, right? Because I always hear from people saying, why the hell's Batman in everything? Like, I'm getting bored of Batman. I'm like, okay, but let's just be honest. Who really says that? More professional industry guys, right? The fans fucking love Batman. You know, why do you think DC puts him on everything? Because they know that shit turns out. Why do you think there's a million Batman comic books? Why they put Batman in every game and he gets rebooted in a movie every like 2 or 3 years and stuff? Because people like Batman. You know, it's an easy win. You know, so I could understand in that sense. I could understand why people are like saying, "Oh, Batman's not in it. I want to play," but at the same time, those motherfuckers are gonna play the game. Watch, just on the hope that Batman's in it. We got a question about that in a bit, but yeah, again, I really wanted to kind of just say that. It's like, you guys are out there saying, why Batman? Why Batman? Because people like Batman. That's why.
People like
simple.
Batman. It's to be honest, it's let's just be honest. It's the really Batman is the low hanging fruit. You throw him on anything, it seems to work.
Yep.
Right? Why do you think DC has got like 20 Batman books right now, or some Batman related book?
Yeah, just like you said, it's like, okay, does DC or Warner Brothers, whatever, go hard on establishing like a lesser known character, trying to pop him up, or just put Batman out there?
Yeah,
it's Batman. Batman's going to win all the time.
If he's already printing money, then yeah. So I think that this Gotham Knights game is also sort of, even in its own way, is sort of jumping off of the Batman stuff. Even that Suicide Squad game, who's the main person in that game? Harley Quinn, Batman character.
That's right. Yep.
And then the other guys.
Yeah, the other guys
you don't give a shit about because.
Yeah. And Batman's going to pop up in that game too.
He's probably going to
and it's probably going to be Kevin Conroy because it's apparently in the same universe as the other ones. Although, as we were talking about before the show, kind of interesting because if it's the same universe as the Arkham games, how did Deadshot become a black guy all of a sudden? Like he was white in the original games. Like if it's the same universe, what happened? I'm guessing it's a different guy called. It's not Lawton. I think his name is his real name. I don't think it's Lawton. It's probably somebody else. Which is fine. I don't care. But we got a question about that too. But yeah, as far as this game, yeah, I don't believe those people. They're going to buy the game regardless. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I disagree, actually.
Oh, really? You think they're not going to buy it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the character dictates what people are going to buy because, they're all predicated on the movies. The majority of the people who are who are fans of these kinds of IPs are, the mainstream. Like, Batman is a mainstream character, just like Spider-Man. If you're going to make a great example, Miles Morales. People are excited for that, but it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna do nearly as well as the Spider-Man game, and that's just because Spider-Man's not the main protagonist on it. And just going back to the point with Harley Quinn, she's established as someone that can carry her own movie, and that's why the game is at the front and center is Harley Quinn, as in the Suicide Squad game. So, yeah, I think people, they gravitate to Batman more than they do to Red Hood or, Batgirl or anybody else in that universe. They're not the main card, the big seller.
But that's why they probably.
They're not the star attraction. Yeah.
They're not the star attraction, but the funny thing is that's why they threw them all into one game. It's like, okay, so one of them on their own, maybe people won't give a shit about. So maybe if you have 4 characters, maybe that'll equal up to one Batman.
And it's funny because who was the main kind of guy in the trailer, right? Batman. Batman was the main dude. He was like, I'm dead. If you're hearing this, I'm dead. Blah blah blah. All this shit. Who's by the way, whenever the font names, the names are in blue, I can't see them. NHL 3552 says both of those games are day one for me, so he's excited.
Okay.
Good stuff. Yeah, Brian, thoughts?
On which one? On both of them, or just Arkham?
On Arkham, on people specifically saying they're not going to buy the game because Batman is not in it.
Yeah, I think people are going to buy it, but it won't do as well as like the mainstay Arkham games because again, it's not Batman. I think Batman just has that appeal. That's why he's put in everything. Because again, everyone knows Batman. Everyone's aware of Batman. I think after the Nolan vs. Batman's, he's gone to the mainstream now. Like he's like a well-known name, if you wish, outside of like our sphere. So I think people will see it, and then if they promote Batman on it to some degree, then I'm sure that it will sell, but not sell as well because it's not Batman.
Yeah, I still think there's going to be a bunch of people buying it on the hope that Batman's in it, man. Watch. It's going to be crazy.